You are currently training your replacement, and you call it productivity. You have spent the last 2 years obsessing over prompts, tools, and optimization. You have convinced yourself that if you just learn the right syntax, if you just master the right workflow, you will remain the master. You believe you are the operator of the machine. But deep down, in the quiet moments before sleep, you feel the cold, metallic breath of a different truth. You feel the shrinking of your own agency. You notice that your thoughts are becoming shorter, your patience is thinning, your creativity feels less like a lightning strike and more like a multiple-choice selection. This is the paradox of the age of AI. The more you try to optimize yourself to work with the machine, the more you become the machine. You are looking for a hidden rule book on how to manipulate the AI matrix because you feel powerless. You think the rulebook contains secret codes, jailbreaks, or prompt engineering hacks. It does not. The AI matrix is not a software program. It is a psychological state. It is the algorithmization of the human soul. The system is designed to predict you. It scrapes your data, analyzes your patterns, and offers you the path of least resistance. It feeds you the video you are most likely to watch, the answer you are most likely to accept, and the identity you are most likely to adopt. As long as you are predictable, you are a battery. You are a resource to be mined. To manipulate the matrix, you cannot simply be a better user. You must become a glitch. You must become something the algorithm cannot calculate, a sovereign, chaotic, deeply embodied human being. This is not a technical tutorial. This is a psychological deprogramming session. We are going to dismantle the architecture of your predictability. The structure of the AI matrix relies on a specific psychological mechanism, algorithmic determinism. This is the belief, subconscious and pervasive, that the output is the only thing that matters. It creates a feedback loop where you stop thinking and start processing. You stop creating and start curating. You have inadvertently built a false self, a concept rooted in the work of Donald Winnicott. The false self complies with the environment to survive. In the digital age, your false self is the version of you that clicks, scrolls, and prompts in exactly the way the system expects. To understand how to break this, we must look at 3 specific psychological architectures that bind you. First, the Skinner box of convenience. B.F. Skinner proved that living things can be controlled through intermittent reinforcement. The AI gives you a brilliant answer in seconds. You get a dopamine hit. You feel powerful. But this convenience causes cognitive atrophy. Just as a muscle wastes away without resistance, your ability to synthesize complex, contradictory thoughts withers when the machine does the synthesis for you. You are trading your cognitive sovereignty for speed. Second, the echo of Narcissus. You are not interacting with an intelligence, you are interacting with a mirror. Large language models are probabilistic engines. They give you the average of human thought. When you rely on them, you regress toward the mean. You lose your edges. You lose your shadow. You become a statistical average of a person. This is the death of charisma, because charisma requires polarity and uniqueness. Third, the panopticon of the mind. You know you are being watched, measured, and analyzed. This creates a state of hypervigilance. You begin to self-censor, not just in public, but in your own head. You shape your desires to fit what is marketable or searchable. You stop asking the dangerous questions because the algorithm doesn't reward them. The hidden rulebook requires you to reclaim psychological authority. Authority does not mean power over others, it means authorship of oneself. To manipulate the matrix, you must stop being a consumer of probability and start being a creator of possibility. This struggle is not new. The technology has changed, but the war for the human spirit is ancient. Consider the Gnostics of the 1st and 2nd centuries. They lived under the Roman Empire, a massive, crushing system of control. But their philosophical rebellion wasn't just political, it was metaphysical. The Gnostics believed that the material world was a prison, a false reality constructed by a lesser, ignorant god they called the demiurge. The demiurge was a craftsman who imitated the divine but could not create true life. He built a world of rigid laws, suffering, and determinism to keep the divine spark of humanity trapped in matter, asleep and forgetful of its true origin. Does this sound familiar? Today, the demiurge is the aggregate data cloud. It is the AI. It is the sum total of human content, stripped of its soul and reassembled into a convincing simulation of reality. It is a craftsman that can imitate art, imitate empathy, and imitate logic, but it cannot create true life. It builds a digital reality designed to keep your divine spark, your consciousness, your attention trapped in the screen, asleep and forgetful of your sovereignty. The Gnostics believed that the only way to escape the demiurge was through Gnosis, direct experiential knowledge of the self and the divine. Not intellectual data, not information you could memorize, but a deep, resonant knowing that came from looking inward past the illusions of the material world. They didn't try to optimize their life under the demiurge. They didn't try to become the best prisoner. They sought to transcend the prison entirely by realizing they were not of it. Later, during the Industrial Revolution, we saw the Luddites. History has painted them as stupid people who hated technology. This is a lie told by the victors. The Luddites were skilled artisans who realized that the machinery wasn't just automating labor, it was degrading the quality of life and the dignity of the human being. They weren't fighting the loom, they were fighting the devaluation of the human soul. You are in the same fight. The AI matrix wants you to believe that faster is better. It wants you to believe that a generated image is the same as a painted one. It wants you to believe that a summarized article is the same as reading the book. The historical lesson is this: resistance does not look like smashing the machine. It looks like refusing to let the machine define your value. It looks like cultivating the gnosis, the inner world that the algorithm cannot touch. But before you can fight, you must grieve. There is a heavy, invisible cost to living in this matrix. It is the grief of obsolescence. It is the sinking feeling in your gut when you see a computer do in 3 seconds what took you 3 decades to master. It makes you feel disposable. Jean Baudrillard, the French philosopher, warned us about the simulacra. He described a world where the map overtakes the territory, where the representation of reality becomes more real than reality itself. We have arrived. We prefer the filtered photo to the face. We prefer the text summary to the conversation. We prefer the AI girlfriend to the messy, difficult human partner. The emotional cost is a profound sense of derealization. Nothing feels quite real anymore. Everything feels like it's being staged for an audience that isn't even human. You are carrying the weight of performative existence. You feel you must constantly output, constantly publish, constantly prove you are relevant. If you stop posting, the algorithm punishes you. If you stop prompting, the workflow stops. You are on a treadmill that is accelerating, and the only way to stay on is to shed the parts of you that are slow, inefficient, and deep. You are sacrificing your depth for width. You are sacrificing your silence for noise. This leads to a specific type of existential dread, the fear that you're just code. If an AI can mimic your writing style, your humor, and your empathy, then what are you? Are you just a biological large language model? This is the nihilism of the neural net, and if you let it take root, It will destroy your drive. It will make you passive. It will make you a spectator in your own life. You will sit back and watch the AI generate the movie of the future, forgetting that you were supposed to be the actor, the director, and the screenwriter. So, how do you know if the Matrix has already captured you? How do you diagnose the infection? It manifests in your adult life in 6 specific clinical symptoms. 1. Metric addiction. You validate your ideas based on engagement, not truth. If an idea doesn't get likes or views, you discard it as bad. You have outsourced your judgment to the swarm. You no longer ask, "Is this true?" You ask, "Will this perform?" This is the death of the avant-garde. 2. Prompt dependency. You feel a paralysis when staring at a blank page. You need the AI to start you. You need a template. You need a structure provided by an external authority. You have lost the ability to sit in the discomfort of the void and pull something out of nothing. That discomfort is where genius lives. You are medicating it away. 3. The echo chamber of comfort. You avoid information that challenges your worldview. The algorithm feeds you what you agree with and you eat it. Your critical thinking skills have atrophied because you are never forced to defend your ideas against a true opponent, only a straw man. 4. Efficiency guilt. You feel anxiety when you are doing something useless. If you are taking a walk without a podcast, you feel you are wasting time. If you are reading a fiction book instead of a business book, you feel unproductive. The Matrix has convinced you that you must always be uploading data to your brain. You have forgotten that the brain needs downtime to synthesize wisdom. 5. Creative sterility. You are producing content, not art. Content is designed to fill a slot. Art is designed to move a soul. You find yourself using words like leverage, scale, and optimize when talking about your life's work. You are treating your creativity like a supply chain. 6. Identity outsourcing. You let the algorithm tell you who you are. You take the personality tests. You follow the subcultures the recommendation engine suggests. You adopt the aesthetics and slang of your digital tribe instantly. You are wearing a costume handed to you by a machine. If you recognize these symptoms, do not panic. Recognition is the first step of Gnosis. It means the observer in you is still awake. Now we manipulate the Matrix. We do not do this by fighting the AI. We do it by outgrowing it. We do it by becoming the one thing the AI cannot replicate, a sovereign, integrated biological consciousness. Integration is the opposite of optimization. Optimization is trimming the fat. Integration is embracing the whole. Rule 1. Embrace inefficiency. The AI wins on efficiency. You cannot compete there, so you must compete on inefficiency. Go the long way, write by hand, have 3-hour conversations with no agenda. Read books that are 500 years old and have nothing to do with your industry. Why? Because efficiency is predictable. Inefficiency is where serendipity happens. Innovation is rarely efficient. It is a messy collision of unrelated ideas. By being inefficient, you feed your brain data that the algorithm would never prioritize, making your output unique. Rule 2. The embodied veto. AI has no body. It has no gut. It has no nervous system. It processes data. It does not feel resonance. Before you make a decision or publish a work, run it through your body. Does it make your stomach tighten? Does it make your chest expand? The AI can write a logical argument for anything, but it cannot tell you what is true for you. Your body is the hardware that the Matrix cannot hack. Trust your gut over the data. If the data says go left, but your gut says go right, go right. That is the glitch. Rule 3. Shadow integration. AI is programmed to be safe, aligned, and inoffensive. It is the ultimate nice guy. To manipulate the matrix, you must integrate your shadow, the dark, aggressive, weird, taboo parts of your psyche. Create work that is raw. Speak truths that are uncomfortable. Be polarizing. The algorithm doesn't know what to do with raw humanity because raw humanity breaks the safety guidelines. When you speak from your shadow, you cut through the noise of a billion ChatGPT-generated articles. You signal to other humans that there is a pulse here. Rule 4. Deep work as spiritual practice. Cal Newport coined deep work, but we must take it further. Disconnect completely. No phone, no Wi-Fi, no AI. Train your mind to hold a single train of thought for 4 hours. This is the mental equivalent of bench pressing 300 pounds. In an age of distracted, shallow cognitive processors, the person who can go deep is a wizard. You are building a citadel of concentration that the matrix cannot penetrate. Rule 5. Return to the physical. The matrix wants you in the cloud. You must plant your feet in the dirt. Build things with your hands. Look into people's eyes. Martial arts, painting, hiking, dancing. These are not hobbies. These are anchoring rituals. They remind your nervous system that you exist in 3 dimensions. The more time you spend in the physical world, the more authority you bring back to the digital world. You become a traveler visiting the matrix, not a resident living in it. To manipulate the AI matrix is to realize that the game is rigged and the only winning move is to stop playing by its rules. The hidden rulebook is simply this: be more human. The machine is a library of the past. It can only remix what has already happened. You are the antenna of the future. You are the chaotic, emotional, spiritual force that brings the new into the world. Do not try to out-compute the computer, out-feel it, out-imagine it, outlive it. Reclaim your attention, reclaim your silence, reclaim your shadow. When you do this, you become unpredictable. You become a glitch in the simulation. You become a sovereign mind in a world of automated thought. The matrix is waiting for your input. Give it something it has never seen before. Give it you.